All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis, who once again goes in on Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are going to talk about the lightweight division and some of the biggest news that there is in the sport of boxing, and that is what is going on between Gervonta Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Gervonta Davis goes off again on Twitter about the relationship, this time about ticket sales. But before that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're a recent subscriber or a longtime subscriber, welcome back. If you're not a subscriber, please accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when you release more videos. All right, so Gervonta Davis is pretty much there. He's saying that's a wrap on Mayweather Promotions, and he ain't trying to hear nothing about no loyalty. In a tweet, some tweets that came out this evening, Gervonta Tank Davis says, number one, that was asked, hey, Gervonta, what's going on with your ticket sales? Why aren't you talking about your ticket sales? And Gervonta Davis flat out comes out and says, I don't know and I don't care because I'm gone after this. I'm gone, everybody. I'm gone, right? Later on, he tweets something else about, people are talking about stuff that happened way back in the past, as if, Gervonta Davis is saying, look, I am moving on with my career. I'm not happy with how these guys are moving me. I have a suspicion that it has a lot to do with the fact that he's not getting the big fights that he wants to get. Also, there's that conversation that that Adrian Bronner had, where Adrian Bronner was like, look, my guys ain't getting paid what they should be getting paid, getting $1 million guarantee, not getting higher guaranteed, getting forced to fight on pay-per-view, and in order to earn all your money and getting it just off the gate. And, his guys aren't getting taken care of. So this just sounds like, Gervonta Davis is a little bit past just talking about it. If he had said something about it a couple weeks ago, because he originally said it maybe about a week ago, and he had just kind of let it go, I might say, okay, man, I'm sure this thing is going to boil over. But the more he talks about it, the more, he brings up issues, the more likely it is that this guy is actually going to, to pack up his bags and leave Mayweather Promotions. Now, as far as him leaving Mayweather Promotions, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because, he has a relationship with Mayweather Promotions, but he also has a relationship with Al Heyman as an advisor and a manager. And if I was Al Heyman, I would feel real uncomfortable about that situation because, he's going to have to advise, be there and advise Gervonta Davis to do what the best it is for his career. But there is nobody, I don't think anybody in boxing that is in a better position to make sure that Gervonta Davis is taken care of and is properly promoted and all that stuff. I don't think there's anybody in a better position than Al Heyman to do that. If they play their cards right, more than likely what is going to be is something that is very similar to what's going on with Errol Spence, what's going on with Deontay Wilder, right? Specifically those two guys, where Deontay Wilder has his own promotional company, Errol Spence Jr. has his own promotional company, and then they deal with the fights that are arranged by Al Heyman and paid for by either Showtime or Fox. And so, it very well wind up being, that this is a situation very similar to what Canelo Alvarez went through with Oscar De La Hoya, right? Where, for a long time, Oscar De La Hoya, I think it was rumored that like 80% or 90% of the revenue that was coming through Golden Boy Promotions were going through Canelo Alvarez, right? He had Canelo Alvarez sign that multi-fight deal for DAZN. And then, in the lawsuit that came out from that, you could really see that, it was Canelo Alvarez was pretty much funding the development and funding, the paychecks for the other fighters fighting with Oscar De La Hoya. I do believe there was like a gap of $10 million a fight, either between $6 or $10 million a fight, I believe, between what DAZN was paying Oscar De La Hoya and what Oscar De La Hoya was paying paying to Canelo Alvarez. So, that double dipping got a little bit old in that scenario. So, as far as what's going on with Gervonta, it doesn't sound like it's just about the ticket sales, because as far as the ticket sales go, Gervonta Davis always sells out his tickets, right? And whether or not they are selling it this early or not, I don't really know if that really would hinder his ticket sales ultimately, because most people do not buy tickets, don't buy their tickets this early. A lot of times they wait until, not too far before the fight takes place for them to, to get it at a discounted rate, right? So, I'm not sure, I'm not buying 100% that it's just this individual ticket sale. I think that it is a combination, again, of the fights that he's getting and wanting to be able to get the big time fights, wanting to get the Lomachenko fight. I have a suspicion also that, where you have Devin Haney and you have George Kambosos fighting for the undisputed title of lightweight in the weight division that he's in. And although he is the cash cow in that division, his management, his promotional outfit doesn't really even act like they're interested in making those fights for him or investing the money to make the fights, right? Because, it seems like, they are making sure that they are not losing any money on Gervonta Tank Davis. But at the same time, Gervonta Davis is not being put into the same situation like a Canelo Alvarez is, where, Canelo Alvarez is actively having people invest the money in him with absolutely gigantic, with gigantic guarantees and all of that, right? Now, I'm not saying that Gervonta Davis is in the same situation as Canelo Alvarez in the grander scheme of things, right? However, when you relate that to the smaller weight classes, 140 pounds and below, I mean, that's about the best comparison that you can make for it. And, if I was him and he, and I had the idea of, how much money you can make and then what you can do, as far as proving you're the best in the world, it can get real old feeling like you're the best in the world, but not having an opportunity to prove it against people that you think you can beat, right? Gervonta Tank Davis probably believes, and I'm sure he does believe, that he can beat Devin Haney, that he can beat, I don't think there's anybody that doubts that he can beat George Kambosos, right? Or anybody, I'm sure there's people that doubt he could beat Vasily Lomachenko. But shoot, if Teofimo Lopez can beat Vasily Lomachenko, I don't know why it would be so out of sorts for Gervonta Tank Davis to do it as well. But like I said, we'll see. I tend to believe that all these type of things typically can get worked out. But it seems honestly like Gervonta Tank Davis is taking a blowtorch to that bridge in the things that he's saying. Even when Floyd Mayweather Jr., as far as what he said out in public, was like, hey man, nothing lasts forever. If you go at Floyd hard enough, and Floyd's main source of income is not Mayweather Promotions, that's something that he seems like he's doing, is something that he loves and to keep him close to boxing. But he has a lot of different areas of interest other than Mayweather Promotions. And he may just say, hey man, let's just cut ties on him and we'll go find somebody else to sign, right? And maybe there's a little truth to what Rolly Romero had to say about him wanting to lose. Who knows? But we'll see what happens as time goes on. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.